Yes, I know. It's disgusting what these humans are doing to you, isn't it? Trampling you, not allowing you to grow. Fossil fuels and all that. Oh, hi, I'm Danny Butler. And this week, we're preserving the planet. This is TrialTube. Welcome to this week's TrialTube, where we are going to be reviewing the Electric Motion 2021 E-Pure Race. That's a really long name. But I tell you what, as somebody who's basically a geek, my inner child, an inner geek, is going absolutely potty.
It seems to run on some form of electricity.
I'm very excited about this. Now, I've been wanting to get my hands on one of these beauties for a little while. I know a few things about them. I know I've never had a go on one. I know Gal Chatagneau's been doing fantastic on one. I know that a lot of other bike companies haven't been given the E-Class, I say the E-Class, but the Trial E category, the kind of attention that I think it deserves. I'm not saying that this is going to win me over and make me, get rid of the engine and go straight to battery power.
No.
But I'm intrigued, as I think most of you guys are, according to the comments anyway. Now, these bikes are being marketed as something that is basically almost a replacement for an engine bike. And right or wrong, we're going to find out if that's true. We're also going to find out if Emotion have really, given away enough goodies for their race bike to be competitive. And does it feel like one with an engine? So let's talk numbers. First things first, the bike weighs 75 kilos and boasts a top speed of 70 kilometers an hour. So she's quick and she'll get a bit of a move on. There's 3 modes, supposedly 125, or comparative to a 125, 250 and a 300 bike, supposedly. It's got TEP forks, an Olay R16V shock, very similar to that comes on a Beta factory, Brake TEP brakes, and a styling that, I think it looks pretty good. I think it looks very futuristic, and you can actually take the battery in and out by removing 3 pins. Only 3 pins. Battery straight out, new one back in. I haven't got any figures on how much a new battery would cost. And on the website, it doesn't tell you exactly how long a new battery lasts. It just tells you that it lasts longer than the 2020 version, and that basically the bike has had a huge power increase also from the 2020 version. So that's good. It just doesn't say. There's a nice little graph, but it doesn't really say the numbers. But it's better because they say so. And as long as you can get used to that sort of fan-looking assembly on the side of it, I really, really like the way it looks. I think it looks sick. Now, I know I like it, but there are a few things that I think they could have done a little bit better. But I'm going to save them to the end of the video, so you need to keep watching. But for now, you know how it goes.
Okay. Let's party.
Now, usually, I'd obviously be trying to do the whole fancy kickstart part of what we do here at TrialTube, but it doesn't really work like that on this. There's a little bit less drama to an Emotion, such as you start it by doing this. On button. And there you go, she's on. Followed by cycling of the modes. Once you push the on button, the light on the handlebars cycles. White, or this kind of ice frosty sort of blue look, is neutral. And by pushing the mode button, you have your 3 modes. Green, 125. Blue, 250. And red, 300, or as I like to call it after riding it for the last 5 seconds, oh my God, I'm going to die. I pull in the lanyard. She's off, reconnected, goes back to neutral. Easy peasy. Basically, if you have a problem with your computer, turn it on and off again.
No.
Bit of maintenance, obviously. No petrol tank, just a battery port. So here we have on the side a nice little waterproof charging plug, which I haven't actually really had to charge this yet. I put it on for about 20 minutes because the battery was already pretty full, but I wanted to top it up. Yeah, that's it. Now let's talk clutch. The clutch on this E-Motion is a little bit selective, really. You can use it, but you don't have to. It can be rev and go, or you can use the clutch. If you want to feather the clutch around those corners, or do a nice big sort of splat to take off, use the clutch, just like a normal trials motorcycle. But if you just want to cruise around, well, you don't have to use it if you don't want to. This diaphragm clutch has been designed to use it, or not use it. The power delivery, as in all things, is all about how greedy you are with the right hand. All right, let's be having you. Obviously, this is going to feel very weird. Mode. Let's go. I ride a 300, so let's go the whole hog. No messing. Rev her up. Now, I'm trying this out in 125 mode. That's the green setting. And the bike itself feels pretty good. The balance point's lovely. The weight's in the middle. The ground clearance is slightly low because that little rock there that I come over, on most engine bikes, I don't clip it. Now, the thing that these bikes have been slightly criticised for is the fact that they can't pull off smoothly, but I've got a theory that if you don't use the clutch, it'll pull off really smooth. And oh, he's right, kids. So by not using the clutch and using it like a slightly kind of rev and go, the engine is actually really smooth. I'm using a little bit of braking to counteract that throttle, and I'm sort of, well, I'm making it even smoother. Now remember, I'm still in 125 mode, and she's got plenty of poke, even for the green setting, the supposed easygoing setting. Now, you know what? I'm just going to go straight ahead and try something a little bit harder. Now, it moves well. It's very stable. Well balanced. I have set this up to the way I want it to be. I've moved the bars forward. Now, this will be the telling factor. How it sets off with this clutch. So as you can hear, I'm winding the engine up. Oh, the drama. This is the bit that I feel that, you know, I feel like you've lost this. If you're on a 300, 250 two-stroke or four-stroke, give her a rev, you get psyched up. For this, I kind of feel like I'm back on the push bike, you know? It's all about that steady breathing and being calm and in a zen-like state.
No.
Woo! Now, as you can see, it's a nice summer evening here in the UK, but unfortunately, yes, we've had a bit of British weather. There's water everywhere. It's still really slippy, but Emotion have given me this bike to test, so I want to test it. So we're going to make things a little bit more interesting. We're going to throw a couple of step downs, a little step up out of the mud, down, then over another couple of steps, and then a nice climb up to the top of the rocks and hopefully to the top of the little cliff edge there. Not messing around now. 125 mode, you're out the window. Although, it didn't struggle before, so I might leave it in the easygoing mode, and then we'll see what the top ones do. Woo. Effort into the sludge. Oh, still in the sludge. Onto the step. Remember, I'm still in the supposed powerless mode. Whew. Takes a bit of doing. Round the corner and up the climb. Oh! Right, that was powerless mode. Maybe we try powerful-ish mode. Number 2. Now, we're in the second mode, sort of mid-range power, supposedly 250 power, and you can really feel the difference. Still though, when you turn it off, she really turns off. You know, you don't lose that centre of balance, but I think they've weighted the battery so well that it gives the feel of having the gyroscopic feel from the engine. So let's see what we've got from a 250 feel. Whew, she's a workout. Come on, Gail. Oh yeah, there's a definite difference. So again, through the water. Water? Water? Whoa, it had that much go that it wanted to do pretty much every one of the steps on the way up. And honestly, I barely touched the clutch. It was alive. You know, I feel like I want to run that again in the 250 setting because it was so good. It was such a usable amount of power, but you know, true to form, one go on each. There wasn't any second takes, by the way. These are all one bangs. There we go, the light's gone red. Wow, the power. You can't even tell how much power is going to come out of it. But then when you smoothly sort of roll it on out the climbs, oh, it comes on amazing. Is it similar to an engine bike though? You know, that's what I'm going to be talking about. I am impressed. If you are in the market for an e-trials bike, your options are limited. You've got this, or a pre-production Yamaha and gas that don't exist yet. So you've got this. There we go, that's more like it. Now we're getting it. So a good friend of mine, Michael Brown, rode one of these in the British Championship last year. Obviously not this model, the 2020 model. But if there's been improvements on power, I can definitely see where they're coming from. It's so hard to gauge if it's the same or less or more though. I just feel like it pulls, but in its own way, just like the cars, I guess. Oh yeah. Right, here we go, that big climb. Now there's a few steps up here if I want to hit them, so I'm going to try to keep the bike on the rear tyre and keeping it moving. Now for those of you that were keen TrialTube watchers, you'll notice I actually just hit the same upward undercut step as I did on a 300 gas and beta. Let's see that again from the other angle, Jeff. Let's see that again, Jeff. I don't know what the weird thing is. You find yourself revving it for no reason. Right now, I kind of want to blip it, but what's the point? It's pretty funny though. Oh yeah. You can just set the throttle and then take off. Round the corner, rolling it on, no clutch. Now, I don't want anybody thinking that this is a small step at the top of here. It isn't. The camera never does anything justice, but try and be open-minded. This is a review, this isn't a critique of my riding level. Although, I'm actually quite surprised at what it can get up. Why should I be surprised? It is just over £8,000. So it's quite the chunk of change, but you're paying for the future. Now, as I always do, it's time for, on our reviews, 3 good and 3 bad things about your ePure race from eMotion. Did I get that right way around? No. Your electric motion, ePure, race. eMotion, electric motion.
No.
Whatever. From your future bike. So, good point number 1. I'm not going to lie, Electric Motion have put this bike together beautifully. And if you're not mechanically minded, this is the tool for the job. There's no big gearbox oil changes, messing around with pistons, having major problems with your engine or your crank. Because, well, it's just not built like that. So you don't have to be the most mechanically minded person in the world to own an eMotion ePure race. Yep, I got that right again. Basically, it's a good bit of kit. Thumbs up. Now, good point number 2 is going to be like good point number 2 and 2.5. Because we're going to talk about a good point with it being electric and a good point about how the electric system works. Now, with it being electric, it means there's no noise. You can ride it up and down as much as you like. You're not going to annoy anybody. People aren't going to complain with the noise of events. And, you know, I feel like you're just accepted better because you look like you care for the planet, which you do. It's a more sustainable form of transport. It's a proven fact. We're not going to go into the whole lithium mining argument. Also, the charging port on this bike is extremely good. It's solid, it's got a nice connector that sort of pushes in and twists, and then when it's on charge, the charger itself is industrial. You want to see it, it's awesome. It's got a built-in fan. Basically, it's not going to overheat. It modulates the battery care. It's just, they've thought of it all. If you think of sort of Oximizer or Optimizer for your road bike, plus a really good charger, without it being 10 pence worth, then, well, that's what you get, a quality item. But you are paying a premium price. Good point number 3. They give you loads of toys. It comes with the right homologated FIM back disc that's all filled in, tech forks, nice brakes, nice back shocker from Olay, a nice R16V. Comes on a Beta Factory. Said that earlier on, didn't I? Obviously, Electric Motion's own diaphragm clutch assembly, which on an exploded view on the website looks like a nice piece of quality. And in front of my face, it's also a piece of quality. They've really put some time into this bike, so I don't want to give it any real bad points, but we'll get 3 in a minute. But I do feel like I could go out and be competitive at club level, maybe even get on the step of a podium, or even the top step if I'm feeling a little bit spicy.
Find an excuse to let one of these off the chain, and I personally guarantee you the bad guys won't even want to come out of their caves.
3 not so good points about your Emotion E-Pure Race. That's such a long word. Oh, why can't people just call things like the EM-E1 Pro or something?
No.
Don't go stealing that. So bad part number 1 is, if you're not used to the power delivery, Jesus, it might just pull you into trouble. Bad point number 2 is when you're actually descending down something, there's no engine braking, which means it'll try and carry away with itself. So it's all off the brakes. You can't weight the back end using first gear and go down stuff nice and slowly using the engine. So if it was really muddy, it might end up getting away with you, from an expert point of view anyway. Bad point number 3. Unfortunately, possibly due to the spacing of the battery or how low the clutch assembly is, or there's quite a large plastic block here protecting the actual engine mechanism. Basically, it's got a very low centre of gravity and also a very low clearance on the bash guard. It does make the bike extremely planted. At 75 kilos, it's not the lightest in its class, but that does mean you're going to clip a lot of things as you go over them without that clearance. I've just been dropping off a few things, riding over a few things, and I do feel like it does clip quite easily. However, don't worry, Emotion. You've got something that all the others don't. That's right. Emotion are the only bike company, because of their 3 modes on the bike. These aren't like gears, remember. These are modes. Because of their 3 modes, when you buy an Emotion, you buy a 125, a 250, and a 300. So, that's pretty impressive, don't you think? I do. Now, let's be honest. I asked the question at the start of this episode, have Electric Motion got away with being better than a petrol engine? And the answer is, you know what? I think they have on a club level. If you want to buy this to ride a clubman trial or just a local event, it's more than capable. British Championship? Maybe not. Right now, anyway. There's still time. But it is cracking value. 3 bikes in 1. Great work, Electric Motion. What am I riding today? 125, 250, 300? I don't care, I've got them all! Rum! As always, thanks for watching TrialTube. We really appreciate your involvement. Please remember to like, share and subscribe. If you've enjoyed this Emotion E-Pure Race review, then please check out our other reviews. Give them a share. I really appreciate the support. I think I probably said that already, but give us a follow on Instagram, Facebook, and we are going to be starting a shop soon where you can get the stickers and some of the merch. It is going to happen. Just give me 5 minutes, yeah? I know people keep asking me for it, and I'd really like to thank all the support for our US crowd that keep messaging me as well. So if you're over in the States and you're watching TrialTube, thanks very much. But in the meantime, you'll notice that throughout this video, I've purposefully tried to not include too much music, because when you ride an emotion, you don't disturb the birds. As always, thank you. Subscribe. Right, that's in neutral. So I need 125. Oh, 250. 300. I need to be French and call Gale, and I'll be able to smash this. Easy work. Oh, by the way, it doesn't rub your ankles either, like certain other brands. You know, I'm talking about gas. I'm looking at you. God, I hope I get to try their electric one. I hope they don't think I've insulted them too much. Never mind. Oh. Power! Oh, come on, steady now, steady. Woo!
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like.